All right, so the title of today's discussion is The Illusion of Rejection and the Abundance of Choice. Okay? The illusion of rejection and abundance of choice. So I'm going to start with a letter. I'm going to start with a letter. You know, I love writing. Y'all love letters. We're going to start with a letter and we're going to get right into it. We're going to continue down the path of talking about how rejection is simply an illusion. I'm even going to talk about the Garden of Eden in another metaphysical way. We've already had a discussion. We talked about like 8 or 9 different meanings. We're going to talk about another meaning of the Garden of Eden, right? So let's get into it. All right, here we go. Beloved, do not mistake rejection for truth. It is not a decree against you. It is not a decree against you. Only a passing shadow of one version of reality. You are not bound to their blindness, nor are you imprisoned in the story of lack. What you saw was not the whole of them, nor the whole of you. It was only one mirror among infinite reflections. You are not here to strive, to bend yourself into desperation for love that will not bloom. Abundance has already set a table before you. Love does not ask you to beg. It asks you to choose. Just as an orchard holds endless fruit, so too do the infinite versions of them exist. Some barren, some bitter, but others ripe and overflowing. Why cling to the unripe tree when the sweet one already waits for you? Remember, your Father's house is vast, with many mansions, and you are free to enter the room that blesses you. To let go of the old version is not to lose, but to live. To choose the version who loves you now is to choose life itself. Behold, I make all things new. Walk boldly into that newness and let love mirror back to you what was always or what has always been within. So breathe and release the story of rejection. Step across the threshold of abundance. See yourself now as the one who is loved, fully, fiercely, and without resistance. For when you choose this reality, you choose yourself, and creation bends to honor your choice. All right, so let's talk about the illusion of rejection. The illusion of rejection. We can talk about this from multiple perspectives. Talk about it from the perspective of your SP, specific person, money, a job opportunity, whatever the case may be. All of this translates to everything. We've just been talking about SPs for the last 2 or 3 days because that's what a lot of questions are on. This might be the last one that's specifically on SP. Maybe. We'll see. But we'll see. All right. So the lie of rejection. The lie of rejection. Rejection is not real. Rejection is not real. It is not an eternal truth. It is a version, a reflection, a moment in the mirror of infinity. Remember, when we talk about infinity or all that there is, every single moment is just a snapshot. It's a still frame. It's just like when you are watching a movie. Movies are typically shot in about 24 frames a second, which means there's about 24 pictures that show on the screen every second, but they flip so fast it looks like motion. This is what reality is. All right, every moment is just a steel frame, okay? And so rejection is not real. It is not an eternal truth. Nothing is an eternal truth except for I am, all right? Nothing is real. If it's temporary, it's not real. The experience of it is real, all right? But it is an illusion. It's never as it seems. Cool? So it is not an eternal truth. It is just a version, a reflection, a moment in the mirror of infinity. To cling to rejection is to consent to the story that there is only one possibility. There's only one self, one version of them, one version of you. But the mystics and the prophets all whispered the same secret. The world is layered upon world, dream upon dream, and mansion upon mansion. Right? There's infinite realities, infinite versions of them. There's infinite versions of them that will reflect back bitterness. Infinite versions of them that reflect back devotion. Who are you being? What shall you choose? What version of them, what version of yourself do you hold in your consciousness? All right? So a beautiful quote from the Gospel of Thomas. The world came into being through me, yet I did not come into being through the world. Now, let's really think about that. Let's really think about this, okay? The world came into being through me, yet I did not come into being through the world. We might think, oh, it's Jesus, the Son of God. That means he created the world. That's not what this means. This is not what this means. The world came into being through me, meaning every single thing in your reality right now, how did it come into being? Through you. Through you. Through you. All right? Reality is just your mirror. Reality is you. You are reality. Okay, so as you walk through reality, every step that you take, reality unfolds and reveals who you are through the changing circumstances, through the changing things in your reality, okay? So the world came into being through you, but you did not come into being through the world. Remember, you are not within this world, the world is within you. You are not within your body is within you. You are not even within time is within you. All right, so let's break that down a little bit more. This is the mystery of creation. You are not the echo, okay? You are not a fragment of reality. You are the wholeness of reality pretending to be a fragment. You are not the reflection. You are the light that cast it, right? Reality is a byproduct of you, okay? The world is not the source of your being. And so if the world unfolds through you, how dare you look out at reality and base who you are on what you see? How dare you do that shit? This is why you get stuck in that loop. I try to be this person. I see reality. It shows me something else. I say, damn, I must be doing it wrong. I base my worth on what I see out there, and I stay in a time loop. And then you say, damn, it's been 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. Nothing's changed. What do you mean nothing's changed? There's only right now. Who are you being right now? Who are you being right now? Okay, so the world is not the source of your being. It is the canvas painted by the brush of your consciousness. To believe that you must fight circumstances or bend someone to change is to forget that the mirror cannot move until you move. The world is downstream and you are the spring. You sitting there doing affirmations trying to change somebody, doing visualizations trying to change somebody is just as beneficial as you standing in the mirror and yelling for your reflection to change its clothes. It's ridiculous. You cannot change anyone. You change your perception of self and you call forward a new version of that person forward. You don't change anything. You cannot change them. In that reality, they are who they are. When you change your perspective of self, your perspective of who they are, now they change, or now you choose a different version of them to step forward. Let me be very intentional. Okay? The world is downstream and you are the spring. When you remember that the world came through you, you cease bowing to its shadows. You no longer cling to the version of them who rejects you because you see that even they are but an image projected from your inner state. You are not shaped by the outer. The outer is shaped by you. And when you shift your gaze, when you release the old story, when you consent to a new reality, the world obediently rearranges to reflect your choice. Obediently. You are the author. You are the source. The world came through you, not the other way around. You are not reduced by what you see in the outer world. The outer world bends to what you dare to choose within. Do you hear what your big brother is telling you? Do you hear what I'm saying? So this verse, right? The world came into being through me, yet I did not come into being through the world. Don't misinterpret this. Don't misinterpret this. What this means is everything in your reality comes through you. You are the source, not the other way around. And if you are the source, how could you? I'll say it again. How dare you? If you are the source and reality is the byproduct of you, how dare you base your worth on reality? How dare you do that shit? Look out at reality and say, because it looks like this, that must mean I am this. What? Reality is born of you. It's born from you. You are not born from reality. Reality is a reflection of you. You are not the reflection of reality. Reality follows you. Identity first, then circumstances. When identity changes, circumstances change. But when you change your identity and then you look at the circumstances and then you say, Based on the circumstances, I am not doing it right. Based on the circumstances, I am not this person. When you do that, then you stay in a time loop. You will not get what you desire. You won't get the person you desire, the money that you desire, the love you desire. You won't get anything that you desire basing your identity on the external world. You will stay in a time loop. You will be on the hamster wheel of becoming. You will be on a treadmill trying to run as fast as you can, affirming until you're blue in the face. And nothing will change because you continue to base who you are on the reflection, when the reflection is simply waiting for you to change. You are playing catch. You are playing ping pong with reflection, playing tag with reflection. Here, you show me I'm different. And it says, no, you show me I'm different. You show me I'm different. No, you show me I'm different. You look crazy. This is insanity. Okay? Cool. All right. So, abundance is selection and not striving. And this is how we're going to get into another metaphysical meaning of the Garden of Eden. We've talked about a lot of different metaphysical meanings for the Garden of Eden, but we're going to get into a beautiful one in this part, okay? So to strive for someone to want you is to worship at the altar of scarcity. To strive and try and reach and affirm and plead and beg and pray, that is not love, that is lack. Trying to force someone to change. Oh, it's thought transmission. So it's thought transmission. So if I just sit around all day, and affirm from them all day and hope that they will change, this is not love. That is lack. You don't love them. That's not love. Who are you actually being? Who have you decided that you are? Who have you decided that you are? Okay? You're not changing anything, okay? You're choosing the version of you that you decide that you are being, and then you allow reality to change and bend to match that. You don't have to keep that old version of them. You don't even want that old version of them. You don't want that version of that person who was turning you down, rejecting you, treating you like shit. You want a different version of them. So choose. Love this new version of them. See yourself as being loved. Accept who you are, and then allow reality to follow. Okay? So to strive for someone to want you is to worship at the altar of scarcity. Okay? It says there is only this one, and they must change for me to be fulfilled. But abundance does not strive. Abundance selects. Abundance does not strive. Abundance selects. Okay? When you stand before an orchard, you do not beg one tree to ripen. You simply walk to the tree where the fruit is already ready and reach out your hand. Infinite realities are your orchard. Infinite versions of them are already bearing fruit. Why eat from the bitter branch of rejection when the orchard of devotion is already yours? All right. So I want y'all to think about this, okay? And I'm going to break it down in terms of the Garden of Eden. One of the metaphysical meanings of the Garden of Eden is this, all right? The garden was stated to be perfect. Okay, everything was there. Okay, everything was already there. Okay? Now, when Adam and Eve ate of the tree of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, okay, they were cast out of this garden. The casting out of this garden, right? Well, let's back up. The eating of this fruit represents the falling into duality. What is the falling into duality? It's just the falling into judgment. Okay? The good and evil represents you walking around and saying certain things are good and certain things are bad. But the beauty of the garden was that it was all good. The beauty of that is that you saw the perfection in everything. Therefore, you were always taken care of. Okay, do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? All right. So to remember is to go back to the knowing that it's all unfolding perfectly. It's to go back to the knowing that I'm always taken care of. It's to go back to the knowing that there are infinite versions, infinite realities, and therefore I get to choose what I want. I can simply make the choice. I say the word, this is who I am. I decree who I am. I know who I am. I embody who I am. And I allow the world to reshape around me. And the moment that I embody it, and what is embody it? Because it doesn't mean walk around with some feeling. The moment I declare who I am, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be, right? Job 22:28. I have automatically become that person, and now reality must form around me. This is your power. Okay? This is your power. Had to charge up the mouse for a second. Let's see if that works. All right, cool. All right, so in Eden, the garden was already perfect. In Eden, the garden was already perfect, all right? Every tree, every fruit, every river is flowing with abundance. Yet the moment we ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we fell into duality. This is good. This is bad. This loves me. This rejects me, right? So you can almost see it as the falling into the perceiving of only one reality. Okay? So falling into duality, another way to look at it is what? Now you're basing things as good and bad. You're perceiving things as there's only one reality. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? All right, I'm pushing you. I'm trying to stretch your mind today, all right? In that fall, we forgot the wholeness of creation and began striving to change what was already whole. To chase after a version of someone who does not want you is to repeat the same error. To eat again from the tree of separation, believing fulfillment lives outside of you in the judgment of one version. You hear that? It's waiting for something out there to show me I am who I say I am. It's waiting for something out there to make me happy. Something out there to make me complete. Something out there to heal my anxiety. Something out there to heal my fear. Something out there. I'm making it someone else's job for me to be whole when you were born whole. Okay? You were born whole. And there was another comment. It was like, well, manifesting is just allowing God to do whatever. No. That's not absolutely not true. All right. Even scripture says, whatsoever you ask the Father within my name will be given to you. Whatsoever. Right? When we get kind of deep in these religions, it's like, oh, we'll just ignore that and say, oh, no, it's just giving it to God and whatever happens, yada, yada, yada. That's not said anywhere. It says whatsoever you ask for will be given to you. Whatsoever means anything you ask for. All right. So whatsoever you ask the Father within my name, in the name of your I am awareness, whatever you say you are, this is what reality gives you. Okay. Whatever. Whatsoever. Right. This isn't selective. Right. It's not some manifesting. It's Santa Claus. We treat God like Santa Claus. God is not Santa Claus. God doesn't have a nice and a naughty list. Sitting up there and saying, oh, well, if it's a good desire, if you've been a good boy, then you get it. Where does that perception come from? That's nowhere in this book. Nowhere. All right. Whatsoever you ask the Father will be given to you. Whatsoever. It doesn't say some things, y'all. All right. It doesn't say some things. All right. So let's get back to it. So to chase a version of someone who does not want you is to repeat the same error. To eat again from the tree of separation, believing fulfillment lives outside of you in the judgment of one version. But Eden was never lost. Eden was never lost. Okay, it was forgotten. So this whole metaphysical meaning of this garden, right? It's a journey of forgetting, falling into duality, which is really just a childbirth. All right, it's really just childbirth. Okay, the orchard of infinite realities still blooms within you. Every version of them is a tree in that garden. Some bearing fruit, sweet with devotion. All right, I want to pause, right? Because I really want to talk about that, okay? We will say things like you can only get some things, but it clearly says over and over again, whatever you say, you will receive. Whatsoever you say. Now, let me challenge y'all. Let's push your boundaries, all right? If 5 people want to buy the same house, who gets it? If 5 people want to buy the same house, who gets it? Only one get it? Well, I thought it said whatsoever you ask in the Father's name will be given to you. Whatsoever you ask the Father in my name will be given to you. It says whatever, right? Whatever you ask for, believing that you have received it, you will get it. So how come we see that and we say, oh, no. Manifesting is just asking God and hoping he will do it for you. That sounds like begging to me. Everyone will receive it. Every single one. Every single person. All 5 or 4 or 2 or 1. But me saying that only one will receive it is making the assumption that there's only one reality. There are infinite realities. There's infinite versions of me, infinite versions of you, infinite versions of this house, infinite versions of this situation. There are infinite. Whatsoever. It wouldn't make sense to say whatsoever you ask for, you shall receive if there weren't infinite versions. Do you hear me? It would not make sense to say whatsoever you ask for, you can receive if there aren't infinite versions. Okay? And one can't be infinite. Infinite means all that there is and always expanding. One can't be infinite. One is one. No, one is one. 2 is 2. 3 is 3. 4 is 4. There are infinite realities. In my Father's house are many mansions. You are the house of that Father. Within you are different versions. A mansion is a dimension. Infinite. Infinite, 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 infinite. All right? So to persist in the bitter is to live cast out, believing yourself cursed. But to remember is to return, to choose life, to select the fruit that blesses you now, to walk again in the cool of the day with God, in the garden of wholeness. You were never meant to beg one tree to ripen. You were meant to delight in the orchard that was always yours. All right, so Deuteronomy 30:19. Deuteronomy 30:19. Okay, I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. Okay, who says you have to let go of them? How do you let go of the things that are so important to me that you can't really let it go? Who is saying that you have to let it go? You in one hand, you're saying you can't really let it go. And now you're saying, how do you let those things go? What do you mean? Right? Just accept that those things are yours right now. It's not about letting it go. If it's letting go of anything, it's letting go of how you receive them. It's looking at everything as the perfect unfolding to leading you to what you want. But letting go of your desire, the desire was given to you by source. You're the identity of God. For the gifts and the callings of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. How does God give you these gifts and these callings? Through desire, because you are the identity of God. You have a desire because the Spirit of God wants to experience something through the identity of you. Why are we trying to let it go? Embrace it. Know that the desire is the fulfillment. The more I want it, the more Source wants it through me. But we tell stories that don't even align with how to get it. Letting go of your desire, guys, I want you all to really think about that. What does that even mean? You have the desire. I know how you feel about the desire. You want that shit, right? It's a desire. You want that shit. Why are you trying to let go of it? Why are you trying to deny what Source put in you? Most of your desires, you can't even tell me where they came from. You don't even know where they came from. The purpose of a desire is not to suppress it. The purpose of the desire is to accept it as yours, to accept it as a fact, to know that right now you are the person who has the capacity to hold it. And now reality must bend to give you that. Whether it takes a day, a week, a month, I don't care. I'm the fulfillment and I have it right now. Huh? That whole letting go thing, it's, guys, think of, don't drive yourself crazy trying to let go of the things you desire. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to do that. It makes no sense. What benefit do you have in quote unquote letting go of your desire? When people say that, I know that you don't really even believe that. You just heard that shit somewhere and are regurgitating it. You just heard somebody say you have to release your desires, and now you're saying it again. To what end? What is the purpose of that? To walk around like a robot? Truly, what is the purpose of that? right? If anything, even when it says, right, Father, not my will, but your will be done, this doesn't mean your desires. Your desires are God's will. But when you look at everything, okay, this is why it also says, judge not by appearance, but judge by righteous judgment, all right? When you look out and you observe anything that's happening, do you see it as for you? Do you see it from the eyes of God? That everything is perfect and complete and there are infinite realities. There's infinite ways for me to get what I want. And so everything is perfectly leading me to where I need to be. Do you see it from that perspective, or do you see it from a different perspective? This must not be working. Oh, I can't get it. Oh, I have to release it to get it. Oh, I have to suppress my desires or release my desires to get it. Oh, I have to feel good to get it. Or do you understand that you are made inherently perfect? You are perfect. You're made in the image of God, the perfect image of God, and you make law with everything that you say. Who is the one that says, that has final say so on if your emotions take you out of alignment? You. What even is alignment? You probably just regurgitate some more shit that we heard, right? What is alignment? What is frequency? What is vibration? People said some shit to you and you were just like, oh, okay, cool. And now you just regurgitate the shit. What is alignment? How do you know? How do you know you're in alignment or not? Oh, well, if I feel good. So you mean if you have money, you will always feel good from that moment forward? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Oh, well, I feel good. I have to have the vibration of wealth and walk. Oh, so you mean that if you've never experienced money, you're supposed to magically know what this quote unquote vibration of wealth is? Is that what you believe? That there's this feeling of wealth and you should magically pull it out your ass and assume it and then walk around? Is that what you believe? What does it mean to detach from a desire? What does it mean? This alignment, vibration, frequency. What does this shit mean? It's just a bunch of shit we've heard. Reprogramming the subconscious mind. What does this mean? It's just a bunch of stories that we've heard, and now we're trying to regurgitate it and spit it out, and it becomes our reality, and we wonder why things are difficult. Because every time I say I have to reprogram something, I'm saying I am not the person I need to be right now, and I have to strive and reach into the future to be it. You are so in alignment with God, y'all. You are so much source. You are so perfect. You are so absolutely perfect that you can actually create a reality to not get what you want by pretending you're not perfect. You couldn't even create the reality where you had to reprogram a subconscious mind unless you were so perfect that you could do that shit. But the moment you say, no, I stand in my perfection right now. I am that I am no matter what. Now reality can reflect that. So you don't have to go through time to get what you want. You can assume it right now. You don't have to suppress anything. You don't have to reprogram anything. You don't have to rewire anything. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to reach some alignment by taking a bubble bath. You don't have to do none of that. You don't have to sit in meditation for 10 hours a day. You don't have to do any of that. Who is the one who says you have to do it? It's you. It's your belief. At the end of the day, it's all your story. It's all your story. We're simply just telling stories all day long. You don't know when you're out of alignment or not. You just all of a sudden guess, bloop, oh, I must be out of alignment. And you say that shit and reality says, okay. Why would you do that? Why? There's no point to it. Why are you walking around pretending that you are not who you are? You are source. Don't want to hear no pushback. You are God. Don't want to hear it. You are God, whether you want to be or not. It's all your thoughts. It is all your beliefs. The moment you accept that you are absolutely perfect, it's all unfolding for me. Even my negative emotions are what? Just calling me to give a little bit more intimacy to myself, to remind myself of who I am. Even my racing thoughts are leading me to the moment where I remind myself it's already done. The circumstances can look like whatever, but I am the perfection within the circumstance. The circumstance might not look ideal, but the God within me is perfect, so the situation must be unfolding perfectly. Or you can tell a completely different shitty story. Oh, the situation is not working out. Damn, I must be off track. What do I need to do different? Let me affirm a little bit more. Let me visualize differently. Maybe I need to detach more from my desires, whatever that means. Oh, I just need to reprogram my subconscious mind because it's holding me back. Do you understand that these are just made up stories? You understand that you're just making them up? You can't prove any of that shit is real. But Alex, I read it in a book. Okay, good for you. Can you touch your subconscious mind? Can you? You can't prove it. You can't prove any of these things. You are just walking around telling stories and your story becomes your reality. That is it. It's like that Matrix saying, right? Where Morpheus is, stop trying to hit me and just hit me. Don't think you are, know you are. Right? That personification of the higher self, just pushing Neo to actually step into the knowing of who he is. Right? If I says, Neo, I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it. Right? We all have to make that choice to walk through it. Walk into your perfection. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be in alignment and just know that you are. You're already the perfect image of source. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to strive for. This is why even Neville said, right? You are already that which you desire to be. You are already that which you desire to be. Already. The only thing that is keeping you from seeing it is that you refuse to accept that you are it right now. You refuse to believe it. How many of us refuse to believe that, refuse to accept that you're just perfect right now? No, okay, I hear you, but something just hasn't clicked, right? We just want to fight for that limitation. I hear you, Alex, but how do I really embody that? What are you talking about? You just be yourself. Whether you feel like you're embodying it or not, you're just perfect. That's just your nature. Unless you tell another story. And you're so perfect that if you tell another story, that happens. You're already it. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. But how do I really let that sink in? What do you sink in? You just it. Whether you feel like it needs to sink in or not, you just are perfect. You see how even if somebody tells you you're perfect, we still want to try to fight against it. I hear you, but okay. However, but okay, I get it. But this thing, guys, at what point are you going to make the choice? Because this is all it is, the choice that you are already what you desire to be. And I get it, I promise. But reality, and it's really kicking my ass. And are you basing your identity on reality, or are you basing your identity on who you actually are? If you're basing your identity on reality, of course, it'll never change. How can it change? If you're looking out at it and you're saying, because I see this is who I am, nothing will change. It doesn't even make sense for it to change. If I see certain situations and I base who I am on what I'm seeing, reality can't change because I'm just being what I'm seeing. You get it? It doesn't matter how many affirmations I do. If I constantly look out and peek around and I say, oh, damn, reality still looks like this. What I'm really saying is, damn, I still am this person. Reality can't change. It's not until you take your focus off of the outer and put it on the internal, on the inner. Now everything can actually shift for you. Okay? Cool. All right, so Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I have set before you life and death. Right? Blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. This is the mystery of manifestation. Not to fight with the old, not to wrestle with the shadow, but to choose life. The version, the story, the reflection that blesses you. The mystic Rumi saying, what you seek is seeking you. When you release the old version, you discover that love was never far away. It was always waiting in the reality you were just too afraid to choose. Love's never far away. But instead of you focusing on the version of them that you don't want, why don't you just accept the version of them that you do want? And allow that other version to fade away. You don't even want that person anymore. The way that they treat you, you don't even want them. So why are you so focused on them? Focus on the version that you want. Love that version. See yourself as being loved. and allow everything to unfold for you that way, all right? So the end of the story, the end of the old story, okay? Rejection is not final. It is only a room you've outgrown. To stay there is to confuse comfort with destiny. But to step into abundance is to trust that new doors exist. New chambers await. New versions are alive in the now. Christ said, "Behold, I make all things new." To believe him is to stop clinging to the version that cannot love you and to step boldly into the reality where they already do. Okay? Beautiful. So as per usual, right? We got reflection questions. Then I got a letter to y'all. Okay? A love letter to y'all. And then we're going to do some affirmations. Short, sweet affirmations, all right? So reflection questions. Number 1, where am I still mistaking one version of reality for the only version? Where am I still stuck on one version of someone? Where am I still stuck on one version of someone? Okay. Instead of choosing, where am I stuck on one version of a situation? One version of this bill? Okay. Where? Number 2, what does rejection feel like when I recognize it as a mirror and not a verdict? All right. I need some more water. Okay. What does rejection feel like when I recognize it as a mirror and not a verdict? Okay. Rejection is simply a mirror. It's just one moment, one snapshot of infinite possibilities. It's one moment of infinite possibilities, all right? Cool. Number 3, how can I let go of striving and choose abundance instead? How can I let go of trying to change somebody, trying to change the bank account, and simply choose abundance? Simply sit in the knowing that I am source, therefore everything must be added unto me. Okay. And number 4, we talked about the orchard. We talked about the Garden of Eden from this different perspective, right? The Garden of Eden kind of representing reality being perfect and full of choices. And the fall into duality is kind of the forgetting that we can make choices with everything, right? What orchard of realities is before me that I have not dared to walk into? What choice, right, can I walk into right now? What do you want to accept as yours, to accept is true about yourself and walk into right now? Beautiful. All right. And next, what does choose life mean in my relationships today? All right. This goes back to the verse we were talking about earlier, which is Deuteronomy 30:19. Deuteronomy 30:19. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. Basically meaning you have all of these different things set in front of you. What are you going to choose? You always get to choose what you want. All right? Cool. So what does choose life mean in my relationships today? Or in any situation? What does it mean to choose life? Okay? Damn. All right. So here's the letter. We're going to get into the letter and the affirmations. And then we'll do some Q&A. Y'all can join if you want. All right? Sit back and enjoy this one. Sit back and enjoy this one, okay? Now, you can think of this from the perspective of an SP. If you want to think about it from a different perspective, you can as well, because all of it is the same. How you get one thing, how you receive and choose one thing is how you choose everything, okay? So, beloved, remember this truth. You are not bound to one version of reality, nor chained to one reflection of love. If their eyes once turned cold, if their heart once closed, that is but a single room in infinite mansions of existence. Why linger in the chamber of rejection when the doors of devotion stand wide open before you? You do not have to twist strive, or beg for love to awaken. Abundance is not found in forcing someone to change. It is found in your choice to behold the version of them who already adores you. To release the old version is not to lose them, but to lose the illusion that you must fight for them. For in truth, there is no striving in love, only choosing. In truth, there is no striving in love, only choosing. Your focus is your holy power. What you water will bloom, and what you starve will fade. If you fix your gaze upon the virgin who denies you, you clothe yourself in lack. But when you rest your eyes upon the virgin who honors you, the universe bends to mirror that vision. In your Father's house are many mansions, and you are free to dwell in the one where love abides. So let the old self, the old story, the old version pass away. Step boldly into the reality where all things are made new. The love you long for is not distant nor delayed. It is here now, in the version you choose to embrace. And as you choose, so it is, right? I am that I am, no matter what. You are everything that you desire to be right now, no matter what, right? So affirmations, remember, only got a couple affirmations today, but remember, you are not becoming these. This is divine remembrance. You're remembering that you've always been these. Okay, so number one, rejection is not real. It is only one version, and I choose another. Rejection is simply one moment, one of infinite possibilities. Just one moment. Okay? Number two, I dwell not in the chamber of lack, but in the mansion of love. I dwell not in the chamber of lack, but in the mansion of love. Okay? Next. I release striving, for my abundance is my nature. Short, sweet, to the point, right? Cut through the bullshit. I release striving, for abundance is my nature. Striving in any aspect, right? Striving to change somebody. It's for the birds, right? Simply choose what you want. Simply choose the version you want. Let the version that you don't want fade away. And you choose the version that you want. Okay? Next, I choose life and the reality that blesses me now. I choose life. I choose life and the reality that blesses me now. Right now, in this moment. Okay? Next, the old story dissolves and I behold all things made new. The old story dissolves and I behold all things made new. And last but certainly not least, my love is mirrored back to me in infinite forms. My love is mirrored back to me in infinite forms, and I align with the one that fulfills me. I feel like that one was a bar right there. My love is mirrored back to me in infinite forms, and I align with the one that fulfills me. Okay? I am that I am no matter what. No matter what, right? You're not trying to become any of these. You are already all of these. Every single one of these, okay? Everything that you desire, you already are. The only thing keeping you from seeing it in reality is your refusal to know that you are that person right now. Don't try to be. Simply know that you are. Simply know that you are. All right? Cool. All right, so that's the end of that discussion for today. What else y'all want to talk about? What else y'all want to talk about? Hopefully this discussion helped, right? Could you make something bad for us good? Well, it's just good, right? It's not about making something bad for you good. It's simply about knowing that all things are good, right? But to answer your question straight up, yes, you can. But bad and good is just an aspect of your consciousness, your perspective anyway, right? So Yes, you could. It's all just based on your perspective. What is right or wrong, good or bad? All is good, right? You deserve to fall in love with yourself deeper and deeper every day. You deserve to be the love of your life. You deserve that. And as you continue to embody that, reality continues to reflect that. And the difference between the ego and your I am talking, well, the ego is typically an old story, right? It speaks from doubt or fear or lack. It speaks from separation, right? But remember, when we talk about your I am talking, your I am is not just another voice in your head. It's the part of you that simply says, who are you being? I am is unmoved by your feelings, right? Your ego is moved by your feelings. Your ego starts to tell stories just because of your feelings. I am is not moved by any of that. I am just says, who are you being? Who do you say you are? But who do you say you are? And from that perspective, now I am goes to fulfill and create the reality that matches that. So I am just reveals who you're being, that's all. Right? I am does the work. So I am is you, right? That's the real part of you. Who are you being? Who do you say you are through whatever situation? Is it bad? Do you think it's bad? What is bad, man? Guys, bad is very personal to you, right? Who am I to say what's good and bad to you? If you tell me that you want two people, I'm going to say, more power to you. Handle that. Do that, right? Have them both at the same time if you want, right? What is right and wrong? What is good and bad? These are all perspective. If you ask somebody, they're going to be like, oh, no, that's wrong. You should only want one person and yada, yada. If you ask somebody else, they'll say, yeah, this is how humans should naturally be. Who is right? Who is wrong? They're just perspectives. Right? You can have what you want. You can have exactly what you want, right? Cool. But I would say this, okay, when we talk about, especially when we talk about people and having multiple people, are you able to walk in that knowing of who you are so solidly that you can actually speak that, right? So you walk up to two men. Are you open to tell them that you want both of them? Are you open to tell them that you want multiple? Or is it just something that you kind of want, but you're not actually cold enough to live in that truth? Well, then you're just fucking people over, right? And is that what you want to do? So, I would say this. You can always receive whatever you want. One for each end is wild, right? You can always receive whatever you want. But the more authentic you are, right? The more true you are to yourself, the more that you can actually get these things in a way that's right for you. Meaning, if I want 3 women and I'm walking to them and I'm not saying that I want that, I'm saying, oh no, I'm a 1-woman man. Well, first of all, I can't even get the women that really are down for that, right? I'm not even going to put myself in a position to be able to get that in my life, right? So can you speak your truth throughout your desire, okay? And it was Deuteronomy 31. Hold up, let me double check before I start misquoting. 30:19. Deuteronomy 30:19. How do you stop feeling sorry for yourself and embody who you want to be? How do you stop feeling sorry for yourself? Okay? And embody who you desire to be. I'm not stopping, or I'm not pausing because I don't know the answer. I'm just pausing because you can give this answer in so many different ways. Did I say I couldn't find a one man? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. Did not say that at all, goddess. Not at all. Look, when we talk about feeling sorry for yourself, all right, I want to look at this from this lens. What do you mean by feeling sorry for yourself? Do you mean that you feel sad and in that sadness you try to force your way to feeling better? Well, I would say, is that even honoring your feelings, right? Is that even showing up for yourself in love? The example I always give is if your child ran up to you and they felt sad or hurt or down or fear, anxiety, or their thoughts were racing, would you cast them out of your room and say, no, come back when you're happy. I don't want to deal with you right now. Would you try to force them to be happy? You better be happy or else I won't talk to you. Well, sometimes that's the same way that we treat ourselves. And I'll say, you know what I'm saying? Would you even love someone that showed up for you like that? So why are you showing up for yourself like that? All right. When we talk about embodying who you are, I'm simply saying the moment you have the desire, that is the fulfillment. You have a desire to be something, to have something. All right. Right now you are that person because you have that desire. You have embodied it. It is yours. Accept it. It is mine. The promise is already made. Right. This is even what Romans 11:29 says. 11:29 says, for the gifts and the callings of God are irrevocable. Meaning once the promise is made through your desire, it cannot be taken back. So now you walk forward, and even when you feel down, you can still sit in that sadness. Even when you feel anxiety, you can still sit in that anxiety. But you remind yourself of the truth. Even this anxiety is the perfect opportunity just for me to love on myself a little bit more, for me to show up for myself with clarity, for me to be present with myself the same way I would want someone to be present with me. And then it's still even perfectly leading me to the opportunity to say, no, it's already mine. So it all still is unfolding perfectly. Even my racing thoughts are an opportunity for me to say, no, it's already mine. So it was still unfolding perfectly. Okay? So I don't want you to think that when you say, I don't want to feel sorry for myself, now all of a sudden you're saying, I don't want to feel any feelings. I don't want to give myself grace. I don't want to mourn this old version of this person, or this old version of me that thought I would be with this person forever. That's fine. What's wrong with that, right? Who is the one who actually says those things are wrong? When I say not to feel sorry for yourself, when I say we have to remove the victim mentality, what I'm saying is we have to actually make the choice of what we want. That's all I mean. Choose what you want, okay? It can't be, I think I want them, but what if God's trying to close this door and things happen for a reason? He's trying to stop it, but I'm doing that. Now you're just in this state of confusion, and you manifest confusion in your reality because you're not making a choice. You're being a double-minded man or a double-minded woman, right? Double-minded God or goddess, right? So it's about making that choice through it. That is what I mean when I say releasing that victim mentality. If you feel sorry for yourself, okay, give yourself some love. Hug yourself to sleep. Tell yourself you love yourself as you fall asleep. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I honor you. I give you the grace to feel, and I will be here for you and still give you everything that you want, which your divine has, right? Be present for yourself through that. Allow those emotions to flow. Sometimes I've seen people get on this manifestation journey and they use this journey to just suppress who they are. To suppress their feelings and thoughts. Like all of a sudden, I have to manifest this, so now I have to suppress my emotions. And that just leads to a whole bunch of more pain. Okay? But what's wrong with being double-minded? It can stretch our minds open if you want. Sure, go ahead and stretch your mind. If it's at the expense of your reality, if you want a reality of confusion, go ahead and make that and make that your purpose, being double-minded, right? Even scripture would say a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That's not expanding your mind. Being double-minded is not expanding your mind. Being double-minded is just creating confusion and chaos in your life. What about that is expansive? If you mean expansive from the perspective of I make a choice, then I go down that path, and then I get another choice, and now it's expanding me in another direction. Sure, that I would agree with. But sitting around debating whether I should want something or not, how is that expansive? That's just me sitting around and doubting. There's nothing expansive about me sitting around and doubting and allowing my ego to ask me a whole bunch of questions to take me down this endless rabbit hole and I never make a choice. That's not expansive at all. That's just doubt disguised as discernment. That's all it is. Well, shoot, now Goddess, now is your opportunity not to suppress yourself anymore, right? This is your opportunity to show up for yourself fully. Oftentimes, I'll talk to clients, and what I'll see when we really start diving into how they've been showing up for themselves, the world is such a mirror that when we stop showing up for ourselves fully and we start suppressing and just running away from our emotions, people tend to walk in our life and run away from us, right? People tend to come in our life and start ghosting us and doing all those things because we're ghosting ourselves, right? We're not sitting in our emotions. We're not actually doing those things, right? And so it's not even about like, it's not even about always sitting there, but it's about taking moments to actually be present with yourself. How often are you in the present moment? Or are you always in the future sitting around affirming this person or trying to manifest this person, right? What are you doing with your time? How are you actually showing up for yourself through all this? And I really desire my SP, but it's still unfolding in my reality. Should I find someone else in the meantime? Yes. No, I mean, you should do whatever you desire. You should do whatever feels right. If that's what you're called to do, then make that choice and do that, right? You can be honest with that person. Hey, I'm still going through this situation or whatever, right? You can be honest, but do what you believe is right because there's no really right or wrong answer, right? You're not down here, y'all. You're not down here to sit around and fiend for someone forever. Okay? You're down here to enjoy life. And I'll be even more honest with y'all, okay? Most of the work that I do with clients, where I see the most traumatic changes is when we finally get to the point where they make it about them. And then I always push people to go do other things, be with other people in the meantime. And then when you start realizing how powerful you are, you start realizing how you can choose whatever version of whoever you want. It gets to a point where you don't even want that person anymore, and then they start wandering in. Now, you not wanting them doesn't necessarily have to be the reason why they wander in, but it's always interesting that the more that you make it about you, the more that you see that, did I really want them out of love, or is this lack? Am I just trying to prove something, feel some void within me? And once you begin to feel that void within your damn self and look at reality as your playground and start getting different experiences, you see that, hey, I just wanted them because at that moment, that's what I wanted. In that time, that's what I wanted. And I can still have them if I want, but you know what? When they come, and in the meantime, I'll do my thing. And then when they do come, it's like, at least they hit me up, but I didn't really respond yet because I'm still trying to see what this other situation with this guy is that I met here, or what this girl is that I met here, which is, I think, beautiful because it's you finally putting yourself as the center of reality instead of putting them in the center of your reality, right? That's what I'll always get on y'all for is we make our coping mechanisms about other people. What should I do when I feel sad? Should I affirm that I have them? Okay. For the rest of your life, every time you feel sad, is that going to be your coping mechanism? Do you really think that that is what your soul is calling you for? To every time you feel sad, to sit around and affirm for somebody else? Is that what we really think that your soul, that spirit is calling you to do when you feel sadness, is to sit around and affirm for someone else and visualize someone else? Make it about us, right? Make it about you. Right? There's so much power and there's so much beauty in you taking your focus or your consciousness, your awareness off of the external world and placing it on yourself and starting to understand, okay, what do I want? Okay, I have it right now. This present moment is perfect. I have everything that I need in this moment. I am perfect and whole and fulfilled and divine in this moment. It's magical because it allows you to call your power back from everything and everyone. No more do I run around waiting for somebody to change. I have no, like, in my mind, in my reality, I have no desire to wait around for anyone. I have no desire to beg or plead or strive to make someone see me. No desire. I simply have the desire to see myself. And in that seeing of myself, everyone that I want sees me. Because when I choose me, people choose me as well. So the more that you can choose yourself, the more that reality can actually choose you, man. You deserve everything that you want. Every single thing that you want. You absolutely deserve it. Right? Absolutely deserve it. You don't know why your boy is a little sleepy today, right? I was hanging out with my parents earlier. They were like, hey, son, you want to go to church with us tomorrow? It's like, yes, I'll go. I'll go. I'll go for the time with y'all, take y'all out to breakfast or something afterwards. But good boy is wild, first of all. Good boy is crazy. Good boy is crazy. But no, I'm take them out, hang out with them. And actually, at this point in my life, I don't really argue with them. I don't have any kind of debates with them. I know who I am, right? And so, you already know I'm in a time of my life of service. This is my season of service. So, really, any opportunity I have to chill with them, I will. If they said you want to go to this cult meeting, I'll be like, sure, come on, let's go. If they said, hey, we got a timeshare we about to sign up for, I'll be like, yeah, let's go. Right? So to me, it's really not even about what they're doing. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm with it. Let's go. Let's do it. Right? The other day I was in Walmart with my mom. I told you, all right, because our original medicine, the cost was very high. It's like $20K, but it went down to $3K, which is a huge blessing, right? I am that I am. And the beautiful thing is I already had said it was going to go down, but I was good because I already unconditionally knew it was going to go down, but I was good because I had the funds to do it anyway, right? When we were at Walmart, I remember just being for a moment, I was so annoyed, like, man, I just want to go fucking home. Mom was looking at like something like macaroni salad or some shit like. And she had kept stopping to like look at stuff. And I remember just getting a little bit bothered and then finally coming back into the present moment and being like, you know what? My mom's just comfortable. She's just happy to be out with me. She's just happy to have her son here. How many more opportunities am I going to have for this? Right? You never know, right? Mom's like 70. Right? Ish. Even though she hasn't told me even though since she turned 50, she's been 50. But she's somewhere along those lines, right? And so, even as she gets out of her health situation, because as y'all know, my mom was diagnosed with cancer like 3 years ago, stage 4 lung cancer. She's not supposed to be here. She wasn't, right? But I see her as perfect, and then everything worked out, of course, because it had no choice to. But here's the next step. The next stage is, no matter what happens, the physical body is still finite. So whether it's a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, it's still finite, right? So how many memories can you make with the people that you love? No, she didn't smoke at all. Didn't smoke at all. Never smoked in her life. Never smoked in her life. Just a mutation. It was a mutation. Right. So in this season, right, I don't sit and argue with her about what she eats anymore. I don't see her. I don't do any of that. I just hold the vision of her perfection, and then I just use every moment as kind of my sermon with her. Every moment is I'm just writing memories with her. Okay? And that's it. And that is perfect. And that is all that I want to do. Right? Don't want to sit around and lecture my mom. I don't want to try to get her to change. I don't care if she complains and whines and screams and kicks and whatever. Because, and this is the lesson. This is where I was really headed. I don't care if she screams or bitches or moans or whines or complains or argues for her limitations. I'm not sitting here trying to convert her to this belief. I simply hold her in my mind as perfect and healthy and whole. And so it is. Because it's my reality, as it is your reality. So oftentimes when you're saying, hey, I want to get my kid or my parent or this or that to change, and I'm like, okay, I hear you. At the expense of your relationship? I get you think this would be the best path for them, but isn't that still purely ego? Wasn't there a time where you would have rejected some of the things that you know now? But Source gave you grace. And you got here, right? Nobody could drag you here. You had to choose. Why deny other people the opportunity to choose as well? You can still see them as ideal. You can still use what you know to see them as perfect and help them in their life. But the energy that you spend trying to drag people to your conviction, how many times we see it? We're having these conversations, people just jump in here trying to force their opinion on you. Instead of using your energy for that, why not use your energy to actually have fellowship, to actually enjoy the time that you have with your family? Right? Anything else is just pure ego. It's pure ego. It's me looking at this person and saying, what you believe is wrong, what I believe is right. I'm better than you. And we're all Source. We're all just as much God. And God gives you what you believe in, whether you believe in him or not. Source is above. Source is above your belief. Source is above your gratitude or love or praise or even your anger or bitterness. I am just simply says, who are you being? And I will mirror that back to you. Unconditionally. It's the true definition of unconditional love. Yeah, true definition of unconditional love. So, with all that said, I'm finna take my ass to sleep so I can wake up, take my go to church with my parents, sing a little bit. Hey, sing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna question nothing. I'm not gonna be in there trying to debate. I'm just going to see them as healthy, perfect, love them, and then enjoy a little bit of food after that with them, all right? But remember, your reality is yours to shape. It's all yours to shape, all right? You have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Remember who you are. Stay divine, stay blessed, and until next time, which will probably be tomorrow evening. I'll talk to y'all later, all right? Peace.